going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman podcast.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Episode 49, the Traveller and a Countryman podcast, and we have our guest, Hughie Maughan Snr.
Yes.
How are you, brother?
Not too bad.
Good to have you in. Thanks for coming down. You listen to the podcast, do you?
Yeah, I do listen to it fairly often there to hear the things going on. I think it's good, It's good to hear from all types of people and what they have to say and things. It's very interesting.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in Mullingar, County Westmeath. But from Mullingar, then my father and mother travelled around for a couple of years. And then we ended up in Bellewstown, County Meath. And we're living there in caravans in, matter of fact, the people who used to own Taylor Park, Kyle's, my father used to work for them, Raymond Kyle and John Kyle, and old Charlie Kyle would be their father again. And my father was like a foreman. He used to drive the tractors and pick the spuds and all type of vegetables, looking after the land and stuff like that there, and do the hay and everything like that. Everything where a farmer does the whole year round.
He was doing it.
Yeah, he was doing it. And the farmers at that time was really good to us because poor times, like everybody, they'd always look after you with the vegetables and stuff like that there too. My mother used to work there as well with them as well.
And we used living in a caravan.
We're living in caravans, and then our old school master, Master Kiney, we dead years and years now. My mother got letters off him, and there was houses getting built at the time. There were 7 little houses getting built almost on Kyle's land, because they sold the land to the council. The council bought the houses then and built the houses. So we were one of the first families, along with the other 7 who moved in at the time.
What age were you there when you moved in?
I probably would have been about 4 maybe at the time. So you had my sister Julie, who would have been a year older, and my brother Tommy, who was a year younger than me.
So you remember that time in
I can remember 1978 or something like that there, 77 or something like that we moved in there. People didn't understand us and we didn't understand them, because we're living in caravans and children wouldn't have seen much travellers at that time, because where we were living, there be no other travellers there.
So did you ever move from Bellewstown, Hughie, to leave and come back again to any stage?
We moved to England for 3 years because that was after, when I was 11 years old, I got a very rare illness in my liver. So I ended up in Drogheda Hospital for over a year, and then I was sent from there then to have a liver transplant over to King's College Hospital in London. But thank God, through prayers and through the doctors, to help me at the time, and I'm on treatment for the rest of my life now.
Did you find out this back here? You had to move over, is it?
We had to move over at the time, over to England, because I had no way of doing anything for me here.
Yes,
there's nothing they could do here, and I had to go to England. It was live or die. That's the way it was. That's how bad it was. I was in King's College Hospital. That's where I was sent to. I spent 2 birthdays in hospital. I spent my 12th and 13th birthday in hospital.
And was your family then living in London?
My father and mother came over at the same time as I. My mother was on the plane with me when I came over, and there was a doctor, and I remember there was a nurse there as well. And when they went over in the plane, there was an ambulance waiting everywhere at the airport it was at the time. Could be Heathrow, one of them. And they took me to King's College Hospital. And I was in intensive care there then.
And what was up with you?
I had a very rare liver disease. It's called Wilson's disease. So now it's a very rare thing. Even now, doctors could be treating people for liver for years, and they might only see one of my people like me. But, in a lot of ways, I'm very lucky, because I got involved with sports even at a very young age before I got sick. So I used to run from my county and everything, through cross-country running, run from my school. And because my father was probably the best sportsman I ever knew, in an amateur sports person. So sport was always a very important thing in our family.
And where is your daddy from?
He's from Martlone, but my mother is from Mullingar. But my father's, all his relations would be all from Mullingar and Martlone, County Longford and all them places.
The Maughans?
Well, Maughans and Nevins. My grandmother, my father's mother is Nevin as well, so that's where they be all connected. Now, the Maughans all comes from County Clare and the west of Ireland, Mayo. So I have a great granduncle called Tom Maughan. My grandfather's called Patrick Maughan. His father before him was called Thomas Maughan. And the father before him was called Patrick Maughan. They're buried in Ballina in County Mayo.
And what was your daddy's name?
His name is Tom Maughan as well. He would have been called after his grandfather, Big Tom Maughan.
So there's a long line of Mahans.
Yeah,
in
but
that part of the country.
I like a lot of history about me family, so I know I'm one of those people. I like to know history about where I came from, who was me people, and I like those things.
And have you been over that side of the country?
Loads of times. So, like, my grandfather's buried in County Longford as well. My two grandfathers there, the Nevin and the Maughan. So, like, they probably travelled around like all travellers did in the day, like, went around working for the farmers or working everything they were doing, making pots and pans. And the women that time would be probably making all, like, you know, like sewing things or making flowers, everything they could do to try to keep bread on the table.
And what was your daddy working at?
My father always worked as a labourer, you know, in farms. He was a very hard working man, he was. Like, he worked in farms, doing spuds, as I said to you already, picking all types of vegetable in all types of weather. I can remember my father and mother in sprout fields when there was snow and frost there, you know, in hard times.
And you know, when you were in London, did you come? Was it Bellewstown you came back to then?
We came back to Bellewstown in 1988. We wasn't even meant to wait back here at the time.
No, just like a temporary basis.
Yeah, because my father and mother has a house up in Bellewstown, as I said from the beginning. And then my sister ended up getting engaged. And then after that, then we ended up settling back here. But it's very hard to come from London to Bellewstown.
Yeah, busy spot.
Where you had everything around you in London.
Back to quietness space, there was nothing there.
So I remember at the time I said, when I come to 18, I'm moving back to England with my uncle. It was like going to a ghost town, like there was nothing there. Bellewstown is kind of a place, they're funny type of people in it, even up to the day. Like they're people, there's Colliers and Flanes and Brannigans, they're all cousins, and didn't matter if you're there for 200 years, you're still classed as an outsider. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. But we had a lot of good friends up in Bellewstown, and a lot of them Brannigans and cousins. We went to school, we played football together, we did running together, and we worked together, like in farms and things like that too. So, like, it was a good place to be reared up to, you know, to bring up to. But there's no travellers there. There was only our own family was there.
How did you end up there?
My father ended up working for John Kyle. He would have been one of the fellows who was over Taylor Park, and that's why he ended up moving up there. And he had a big field there, and he let us move on to his land. And we took small caravans at the time.
And did you stay in the caravans for long there?
We stood there in caravans for a while, and then we got that house, and we got into the house then, and there was a little small estate. There's 7 of the houses. Now there's 10 or 12 or 14 houses there now.
And you got a chance to get in one of them?
Yeah, but the teachers were all the letters, and Tom Kelly would be in a local TD, and the Father Tunley at the time was a priest in Dunleek, and he would have given us letters and helping us to get the house at the time. So we started off school there in baby class, like that's showing you, and high infants and right up there, you know.
So you literally more or less all your life, say up to till you got married, basically.
That's what my brother and his family is all, they're still living up there. They have another house there now. And my mother passed away 2 years ago, so my father is in the house there now. So we still have 2 houses up there.
Your father's still there, is he?
Yeah, my father, like that's our own house. Like, I mean, my father and mother owns the house, so that's a part of our family. Like, it'll never be sold because there's too much memories there. So it's a house like where we'll always keep in our family in time to come as well.
A lifetime of memories.
It's worth more. You can't put a price on the things what my mother and things did for us there. Like, it was hard times, but they did everything for us. My mother was from Mullingar.
What's her name?
Teresa was her name. Her second name was Nevin, so she'll be 2 years dead now in November, so she did, yeah.
I remember you telling me about your mammy passing away.
Oh yeah, because my mother, I was very close to my mother, as my sister and my brother was very close to my father. I was always with my mother. When I was sick in the hospital, I can remember loads of things that she used to do for me. She used to bat me, and she used to sleep beside me, and she used to be there all the time. I remember giving me kisses in the head when she, you know, in the night time and things as well.
It's lovely. I had that with my mammy as well.
Yeah,
I still have it with my mammy. My mammy's still alive, thank God.
Yeah, you're so lucky.
So lucky. I was out swimming with her and my dad the other day.
That's priceless.
They're in their 70s and it's great. But
to see them doing that, that's brilliant. Because as I said, my mother worked so hard in fields, you know, for picking spuds, and like she did so much for us. Like she couldn't just go into a shop and just buy what she wanted to buy, because but if we wanted something, she'd save up her money and she'd get us out. So we always got what we wanted. If it took a month, it took 2 months, we'd get it, because she'd get it for us.
What was your mummy's name?
Teresa.
She was a provider, bless her.
She was just, you know, like all the women like that time, like Martin's mother, your mother. They're just, the people that time was great people, like, you know. They did what they had to do for their family.
Just do their best, and that's it.
Yeah.
And how did she meet your dad?
That probably would have been a match wedding.
Would it, yeah?
Yeah, my father and mother's first cousins, believe it or not. So
Right.
my grandfather, who was my mother's father, and my granny says my father's mother, them two was a brother and sister.
Yeah.
But also my mother's mother is Nevin as well, so she'd be a first cousin again to them. So the two of them was first cousins. So probably that time, I think the way it was done, they'd come out for a couple of drinks, their father and mothers, and the wedding would go on like a match wedding. They'd come home and tell them you're getting married as such. I don't even think my mother met my father till the day she got married.
The deal is done.
It's crazy too, isn't it?
It's deadly, like. It is a bit crazy, but it's also deadly. It's
You know,
nice.
if you think about it, like,
Yeah.
and I heard him saying there, I think they're £2 or £3 they had, and they're lucky even to have it, and they have to get married.
It's just the way things
Hard
were, isn't it?
times. I don't know how they're ever. If we ever put out that time, we're finished, we're done.
I don't think they had much of a choice. Like my man, they probably didn't have the money for the ring. I think
Ring? You wouldn't even have a ring.
I think my dad, the priest handed me dad a ring, going, here, stick that on there. What do you need? A pair of trousers? Here, stick them on there.
Yeah, it would be. But if we look back, it's great memories of the things what it could do for you. Like even at simple things, even at Halloween, you'd be doing these old apple games in the water, the brack cake with the ring in it, and you know, you'd be making Halloween decorations, Halloween or Christmas decorations out of paper yolks. I remember them, and you do all them things in school, and you'd be home making these coloured decorations with. It's just great thing, memories. Like all the roofs of the house at that time would be all full of decorations. Even down trailers.
It goes to show you
now
that
you don't see any of them things now.
it goes to show you that everything is exciting as a child, and you don't have no worries. Like, So
Yeah,
when you
no, if
grow
you
up,
think
you
about
feel
it,
the
like-
pressures of life, isn't it?
Yeah, if you think back about the things, the house, you come into any house that time, you'd have all these hanging down decorations, a Christmas tree. You'd have a real Christmas tree that time, and it was just that time you'd be getting a tie for Christmas. Like it'd be just brilliant. Like all gun and pooch and the caps. When the caps was gone, you were gone.
The little gun with the strip of caps.
Yeah, you put them in the red
The
thing,
cowboy
like
would
a
go
painter.
hiding.
You'd be all action for a little while, and then the knives will be gone. There's no more caps for you. You get a package. They're like in a long tube, like sweets or something like that. Like,
Memories, huh?
but they're good memories to have.
Yeah, beautiful.
But just like then with kids today is totally different things. Thank God a lot of things is different as well, you know. But that's what we went to school there, and then we were in England. We went to on and off to school there as well.
Oh, when you were over there, when you were living
Yeah,
there?
we went to secondary school over there, just a small, but I wouldn't call it proper school, but that's what we did. But when we were living in Ireland, like we were in school every day, like.
And how long did you stay in school to
I had to leave it when I was in third class because I got sick that time.
And you didn't go back?
No, I couldn't go back because I was in hospital. I was in school, believe it or not, when I got better in England in the hospital, because that's to do have little schools in the hospitals over there. So, you know, like there's very hard times, but you know, and good times as well, like, you know, in certain ways.
And what age did you come back then to Ireland?
I came back to Ireland when I was just going on 16. No, I was about 15. I was 15 going on 16. And that's when my sister was being 17. So there was a wedding kind of mentioned there with her and my brother-in-law now, like, and that wedding went on and she got married, and my father said she's not getting married till she's 18. I think she was 18 in 1 day or 2 days in November. Her anniversary is in November, or her marriage, like, anniversary. So the two of them got married. Johnny would be around the same age, a little over 18 he was, about 18 and a half.
So at 16, what were you up to?
16, I remember me sweet 16, and you won't believe this. I think it was went out that night in Dunleek because I used to love playing darts. And I remember that night I think it was a winning streak. There was like, you get 3 stars or 3 things and you win 50 £50 at the time, and I won it. I got the 3 stars and a scratch card around.
Cool, man.
I can remember that here because certain things in your life come for you. But really, that was it then. Just into the pub, game of darts because I'm a non-drinker. And
You never drank, though?
no, I drank about 5 or 6 times in my life altogether. So that's why I'm involved with sport and things like that too. And I'm one of those people who tries everything. So sport is a big thing in my life, but also school. For my own family, school is the most important thing in their lives. Like as an example, I'll give you a thing here. Hughie, my son would be the first child to do his leaving cert in Ballymun, like.
Wow.
That's so sad as well, like, you know.
Yeah, it's great and sad at the same time.
Yeah, and then Marianne would have been the second child to do leaving cert. Now, they're no better than nobody else, but it's just thank God they stood in school. Now, my other girl didn't wait in school. She left it in third year, so school wasn't just for her. So, you know, like, school is for some people and it's not for other people, but if they like it, they should try to keep them in it. If they don't like it, what can you do?
It's just not every child likes school.
No,
is it?
that's the way things is. And you get that in all types of people. Doesn't matter if you're a traveller, settled person, that's the way life is. So I was kind of lucky. Hughie did like school and he stood in it.
How did you get from 16 to having kids? Where did that all come in?
Well, how I met my own wife, I met her, my brother was getting married, Tommy, he was married before me. He was a year younger, but he got married before me. And then, what do you call it? We're on a bus going down to Navan to the wedding, and that's where I saw Kathleen then.
Oh, love at first sight, huh?
And then
Oh man, Hughie
out for a
Maughan.
dance and things at the wedding, what you'd be doing. And you'd think you're going into death chamber or something like that, you're going over for a dance, you'd be embarrassed, you'd be ashamed. It's like you think you're going into a gas chamber or something like that. You think you're going to die or something like that, and you're not. Well, at the time, you'd be embarrassed.
He was asking himself, what's this thing called love?
What age are you now?
I would have been 18 that time. 18 or going on 19, like 18 or 19.
And you met the love of your life on the
But I
bus
met
to
her
Navan.
there for her own bad luck.
I'm going to have to borrow one.
So then that was on, I think the wedding was on a Thursday, Friday. So I said to her, I'll be up in, my uncle is married to her aunt. And I said, I'll be up in Clondalkin on Tuesday. Will you be up around there? She
You're
just
a
looked at me,
charmer.
much to say,
She's going to kill him now, you know that.
much to say you are. So her father had a big phone in the van at the time. They're very rare to get anyone with like a mobile phone. Do you remember them big, huge
Yeah,
phones?
the
man?
big mobile
They're like
phone.
something what you see in an airplane or something.
That's right.
So I phoned, she wouldn't answer then, and then she answered then. I just met her from there then. No, I only saw her that time once. That was on a Tuesday. And then I was going down through Ballyfermot walking, me and my cousin Tina. And I phoned her number and asked her to marry me. So that's how we came across then. So then I had to go out to Ballymun, and Halloween night it was, believe it or not, because I can remember all the fireworks and yokes.
I said there was fireworks already.
No, Kathy was sitting, I can remember she was sitting in her father's caravan, and all the brothers and sisters was there, and my uncle, and my brother and my sister-in-law, and I had to stand up and her father asked her, do you want to get married to me? And I had to stand up then and ask for her in front of everybody.
Was it true that one of them actually took off the mask first? No?
Halloween is no, they didn't pass either because Halloween was at the same time. So
You got away with it.
they accepted it. I was lucky.
So you seen her once on a bus to Navan, then you spoke to her once on the phone, and then all of a sudden,
And then I asked her to marry me then.
wow.
Funny, isn't it? But it's funny too, I met Kathleen a couple of years before that in Inchicore. She was in her and my cousin Tina and who'll be also her cousin. But me and Kathleen's far out cousins, if that makes sense. Me and Tina's first cousins, but her and Kathleen's first cousins as well. But me and Kathleen's we're far out cousins because Kathleen's aunt is married to my uncle. That's how. And then I saw her in the Oak and I started messing with her in the caravan, taking out things out of the press. And I heard he wants to bring home some of these butcher. And that's the way I was a joker. And she got raging at the
He
time.
was breaking the ice.
No, I didn't even know. I
He just
never
picked
saw her
the-
no
he
more
just picked
then.
the wrong time for us.
I never saw her no more than after that. Till the time on the bus.
You were planting the seed.
And she
with her.
was never meant to go to that wedding. So I would have been never married to her then. because she wasn't meant to go to the wedding. She ended up going then. Her father and mother asked her to go.
So it's by chance and you grabbed it.
Just it never would have. We would have probably wouldn't have meeting. Like, it's funny the way life is. Like, you know. You know, like, I saw her that time when I would have been around. Could be 16 or 17. No, about 17 I saw her. But I never saw her no more after that then.
So that's the way God works.
It's funny, isn't it, Martin? Like, they're knowing to think back. And I tried to, she reckons I was trying to make a show of her because I was taking out bread and things out of the press.
She didn't see the funny side of it.
She never saw no funny side of it at all. Look, I didn't get hit with a tin of beans or something. But I was always a person there. I was open-minded. I used to have girlfriends. What I mean by that, I used to have friends who was my cousins, who would be me. They would be not boys, they were girls, and we'd go off. We used to go off that time, say like the school together, or we go to the shops together and things like that. We're cousins and we're good friends, know that type of thing,
just
man.
Friends, yeah, of course.
Yeah, good friends, like female, male, but good friends. And we used to be all, especially Tina. Me and Tina was like a brother and sister. So she was my buddy, like as a man says. Me and her would be always together.
That wouldn't be common enough in the travelling community, would it?
No, it wouldn't be. But me and Tina, no, it wouldn't be. But me and Tina was great. We'd be always together. We see one, the other one would be there. And mark the fact, she was meant to get married the same day I got married. But her wedding at the time got called off.
Where did you get married?
I got married down here in Ballymun. What do you call that church, Martin?
Our Lady of Victory's Church.
Yeah, in there. And my oldest girl got married there too. So we're in 31 year married this month, the 24th.
Many kids?
We have 3 in family. We have Sabrina, who's a mother of 2 and having another baby, please God. And then we have Hughie, who's single. And then we have Marianne, who has 1 little girl. So we had a big space and among her. Well, not with Sabrina and Hughie. They were born one after another. But Marianne was born a long time after the other 2.
And when you got married?
Yes, we had a hotel there. It's closed down now at the same place. It was called the Old Mill Hotel in Bellewstown. So that's where the afterdo was.
That was a popular
I know that
spot,
place.
wasn't it?
And it lived inside.
On the left-hand side, when you go down the little hill there.
That got closed down because it used to keep getting flooded.
Getting flooded there, yeah. There's a pub and a restaurant on the other side.
Yeah, the other on the right-hand side.
So we're up to speed with where you came from, who your ma and your dad were, where you were living, where you went to school, going to London. And
believe it or not, I have only 1 sister, 1 brother, as I said already. So 1 is older, 1 is younger. So there's like my own family. It's a small family, like, you know. So we had we had a lovely time in London because it was a totally different thing altogether. And we were able to spread our wings a little bit more. Do you know, like you go to boxing clubs, you go to school. There's a lot more to do over there, cinemas. Like there was a lot of things to do over there.
And what was it like for travellers in London then?
Oh, it's the best time of our life. I don't know when I think back about it. I was just in the gym today and I was thinking about 4 or 5 people who died who used to be with me in London. And so sad. Do you know, when I think back about them, we were only all teenagers going around in the old parks and having a bit of fun and a bit of, you know, doing old boats and canoeing and things like that, like in adventure parks and things. Because the people in England that time was far, like London was a long way ahead of Ireland. Even that time you'd be run off in these summer project things and you'd be run off doing all sports and everything. It'd be brilliant.
They were well advanced.
Yeah, even the schools that time with the hot meals and it was just all these, they were far advanced of Ireland, was like, you know, they were way ahead of them.
And would you been treated differently as a traveller man?
Believe it or not, in England, as grown up in a traveller here, there's horrible names like knackers and things like that. In England, they would call you pikeys and things like that, but they weren't as nasty as they were here at the time. You know, that's just the way life is, like, you know. You're going to get good and bad among everybody. So at that time in school, I remember even here, you'd be getting called in horrible names and things like that.
When you were out in Bellewstown?
Yeah, even in Bellewstown, yeah. Like, they mean nasty names like that. Not by everyone, but by some of them. But I cannot blame the little kids at the time because we were only old kids. That was coming from the parents.
Comes from the elders, yeah.
Because what would a little child, 5 or 6 years old, know what a knacker or what this name is? So the thing is, that was coming from their parents at the time. So, but most of these people who used to call them names, I was a very good friend of ours now. we did things together and we worked together and we became very good friends. So that's, like, through time, people understood, like, they judge us because who we were, but they didn't know who we were really, like, here in a certain way. They're travellers that live in a caravan, call them names. So that was coming from their parents. In England, you didn't have
education.
that. Yeah, that's what's all down there.
Yes, I'm wondering what the difference is between Ireland and England. I think for me, growing up, we were kind of told, don't play with the travellers.
Yeah.
Maybe the difference between in Ireland and England, there would have been more travellers in Ireland at the time than there was in England. So England, let's say, knew very little about travellers. They knew a lot about gypsies, all right, but very little about Irish travellers. And they sort of welcomed them in just the same way as did everybody else, because in England, you had a lot of different
races.
You know what I mean?
And too, Martin, black people in England was very good to travellers in England.
This is what I'm saying. Sure, they were treated no different.
Honest. Black people there, like, used to be very good to us in England. Because they knew about the way they were treated. So there were, even if you're in playing the games or if you're in the park, something like that there, black people there was really, like coloured people, was always nice to us and kind to us.
Ireland, without a doubt,
was a very racist country.
Biggest for discrimination and racism and all that sort of stuff, prejudice, the whole lot. They just combined the whole thing. But what, obviously, I can't say what they don't realise is that the parents and parents before them had to leave Ireland years and years ago,
in the famine,
back in time of famines,
yes,
and go to other countries looking for refuge, food and place to live and everything they needed. Like,
Dean, I'm talking about back like over 30 years ago, a traveller even going to get a hotel was impossible. They'd have to get it very, very hard.
I'm telling you now, my friend, not stopping even talking.
Yeah.
And believe me, a lot of that hasn't changed.
No, I know that, yeah.
I'm telling you now.
Another thing as well, Dean, I remember back years ago, my father and them struggled even to get insurance in their van, what they had at the time, or car. With the minutes that give their name, they know they're a traveller, and they wouldn't even, the insurance company wouldn't even insure them. And then what they'd have to do then, they'd have to drive with no insurance, and then the guards would stop them, they'd lose their licence. So how can these people get up a hill when they're pushed down the hill the whole time?
Some travellers who were a little bit smart. They start getting solicitors onto the companies.
Yes, that's how they did that, yeah.
To find out why are they not, like they had full licences, as he said they are, why were they not entitled to insurance?
Yeah, in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then one particular company opened up.
PMPO.
About 27 or 28 years ago. PMPO used to serve the odd traveller, as you call it. But then there was one particular company where they literally put the company together just to provide travellers with insurance. I can't think of the name of it.
Well, I know PMPA used to be one of them, but there was another company as well. But I tell you now, Dean, my father and them struggled to get insurance back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. And a hotel, if you had the savings to get a hotel, like say the girl's family and our family thrown in the money, so whatever the hotel is, they pay half, me pay half. So you'd scrape up the money for the hotel, and then you're in a way, you haven't got the hotel till you're inside the door, sitting at the table eating a grub.
Yeah.
Now that's how much. Because there was times when there was hotel doors shut and locked, even with the money paid in, when the sea travellers coming.
And then most times then you have to have to get somebody else to actually book the hotel.
Yes, I had to do that with my daughter.
If you knew a countryman, as we call you Dean a countryman, yeah? If you knew a countryman, you'd have to get that particular person to go and book that hotel.
But you're talking like that was in the past. That's today.
That's still happening.
But Dean, tell me this here now.
It is still happening.
Your mum and dad is so special to you and the men, everything to you. Did you ever ask them in your later stage in your life, why did you not want us playing with travellers when we were young?
Yeah, I don't think it was me man dad specifically, but I remember it being around 1978, 1979, when I was about, say, 7 years of age. It being on the news about travellers, and that's where I would have heard the word knacker.
Horrible,
and there was a media or a representation of the travellers in the papers and on the media, on the news and on radios, that they were like animals, basically.
Yeah, Dean, it's like the fella in Wexford. I don't know what you call him, like a TD or councillor, whoever he is. He said there once, I visited Auschwitz in Poland and saw what went on there.
You did, yeah.
Yes, and he came along and said, well, we should be all thrown in like the Jews into a hole and lime fired on top of it. Don't kill us, bury us alive with a load of lime. Like that's 10 years ago, or everyone it was, 15 years ago, or 12 years ago, everyone it was.
Sure, the fella who was running, as we said on this podcast loads of times, the fella who was running for the presidency
said... Did you ever know that, Martin?
Put it straight. What if travellers had to take this into hands and go looking for him?
But sure they did.
What was going to save him?
He got into trouble
I'm not
over
saying
that.
every traveller would do it.
Yeah, he got into trouble over
that. That fella who was running for
angered.
president, Peter Casey, I think it was, saying all the travellers should be moved up to the Phoenix Park and re-educated.
Right in, do you know Spike Island?
Yeah.
That used to be a jail, and there's an army camp years ago. Now I think they do have all events there now. He said one of them said all travellers should be put out in that, Martin.
Now they would describe them descriptions that we're talking about now, right? It's as you said earlier on about animals. It's like putting travellers down to be animals.
Yeah.
But sure, as far as I'm concerned, the people that have them thoughts should they be no better than animals?
Oh, Dean, I'm going to give you a couple of
anybody an
samples.
animal.
What you never hear about travellers. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of samples. We have a guy in our site called Jimmy Maughan. A lot of people call him Baldy Jimmy because he's no hair. Just a name on him. Them guys, even up to the other day, they go to Lourdes every year to help the sick.
Right.
People who can't walk, can't talk, can't do anything. This is a traveller organisation that does this. To raise money, to go there, to work in the hospital over there was one of the worst places which you could ever, not the worst, that's the wrong word, the hardest place to work in. From morning till night, pushing wheelchairs, washing disabled people, everything. You never heard of good things. They also went to Romania years ago, drove over there with ties and clothes and money and gave it to a home was over there, children who had, just get this right, HIV and all illness like that. Some of these kids was 15 and 16, young men and women who never saw a tie in their lives. They're playing with ties like small children was. They're bringing the McDonald's over there. And these is gypsy children and things, HIV and all things, who never saw McDonald's in their lives. But you never hear the good things what the travellers does. But the minute the traveller makes a mistake, not what, like, loads of travellers make mistakes. This man here, Martin here, myself and his brother, when the flood happened in, I think it was the Philippines or one of them countries, we raised £5,000 at the time. And we gave it to the local priest who read it out in all the masses. Remember, Martin?
That's right.
We raised 5,000 for the floods, for the people who died at the time in the big tsunami.
Tsunami, yeah.
We raised that money for that. The amount of money I raised for the local hospital, I raised at least over 70,000 in a lot of different events. I don't want credit for that because the children got me to the finish line. I didn't get myself to the finish line. The kids who was doing it for, because as I told you already, to go back, wind back the clock, when I was a young teenager, like near enough, I was sent to England to have a transplant. All the local people, the travellers and the settled people did loads of walks, fundraising for my father and mother, because they had nothing, and they helped them out, raised up some money to help them to buy something for themselves in England, and also fundraising as well. Loads of people did that. So I like giving back what people did for when I was a child, teenager, like at the time. So you never hear about the good things. I know loads of travellers does good things for the Ireland, like for the state, like to work in schools, to do fundraising, to do raise money in charity. There's one thing about the traveller, is if other travellers will raise money, that'd be €50, €20, €5, €100, however we can afford. If someone needs it, we'll raise money for them.
Yeah.
If we know this person is 100% needs this thing sorted out for them, we'll get together and we'll all throw in money. That'll be €50, €5, €10, €20, that'll be €200, that'll be €500. We will get together and give that money. And that's what we...
Like, for instance, not to mention no names, right? There was a young lad there about a year and a half ago, yeah? He had an accident in England and he was in hospital and he was very bad. And basically the hospitals, they needed money to provide the care for him, basically, and the family, let's say, couldn't afford it, if you like. So every traveller in England and every traveller in Ireland
give something.
All got together and made a donation.
They got hundreds of thousands
to help him. As I said, I'm not going to mention the young lad's name, it wouldn't be fair, to help him, but it was to basically recover, and thank God the young lad is recovering, right? But without the help, he probably wouldn't know how things would have been. But it was through the generosity of the travellers themselves. They all stood up and literally helped that young fella in particular. But this has happened, as Hughie said there, this has happened numerous times.
And you don't hear about
different people with various travellers. They're always willing to help. And it doesn't matter how little they give, they still are willing to help.
Counts.
Yeah,
Dean.
And they don't talk about it. They don't want recognition.
We don't want no credit for it.
No credit whatsoever. It's just come from the heart and that's it.
Like the Lynch, Martin, he never told you what that 5,000 years ago what we got for that flood at him. He never mentioned that, did he?
No.
You see, that's what I mean, because that's the type of person he is. But I'm just, not what we want credit for that. We did it and it was so sad. It's like 80% travellers get me money for Temple Street Hospital. I didn't raise the money. Like I did the running, but they did the raising the money. And his brother did an awful lot for me. He had a brother, Patrick Stokes, and he raised me loads of money for Temple Street Hospital. And, like only for the people who helps me, and the guards in Ballymun helped me, local people around Ballymun gave me money, and we all got together. And we raised money.
Hughie played a big part in that because he'd cycled for hundreds of kilometres.
Yeah, I trained really hard.
For, would you call it kilometres? For hours. Hundreds of hours.
Training wise.
He'd do training for whatever many hours in the gym. Every single day for charity.
I took up marathon running in 2007 and I raised €11,095 pound at the time for Temple Street Hospital in the Dublin Marathon. And then the next one after that I raised 9,000 when I did the New York Marathon. Then I raised £4,000 or £5,000 Berlin again, London Marathon twice as well. And then I did my Ironman race in 2015, was my last Ironman race. So I didn't do that for charity, I'd be telling a lie if I did, because I didn't want to put pressure on myself, because I failed it 2 years before that. And I said, I'm just going to do this for me. So I ended up doing that, but I did loads of half ones since that. But I did a lot of marathons for Temple Street Hospital, and I did a small bit of fundraising for Ark House, was a recovering place for cancer.
You showed me a video of you when you were at one of the triathlons, and you were at the, I think it was at the start of the race, and there was people being interviewed.
Yeah, and I was talking on it. Yeah.
And they were asking people, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
And go on, tell them what you said.
I just said to him, they must have felt sorry for me because I was on Sky News and your news. So to go around with the big camera that morning, videoing people, and then to put so many on.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, just get this words right. I said, the winner of the race won't be as happy as me if I can finish this race today. I'd be the happiest person probably in the world to finish the race. Words like that I use. So I remember meeting a guy who has a big sports shop in Dublin. He's from Australia. And he said to me, I won't use the F word. He said, how did you get on television? He said, I've loads of marathons and I've loads of Ironman races. I said, who you know and what you know. And when I got the finish line up my Ironman race, I was crying for 300-400 yards, had my Irish flag around me, and I started crying, and I got to the finish line. I wouldn't cross the finish line for about at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes, because I was 2 years waiting to do that race. I was heartbroken 2 years before that. I came down the stairs and I saw everyone with the medals, and I was so happy, and I had nothing around my neck, and I was so heartbroken inside. And I said, that would never. And I met an English guy, and he told me about a race in Mallorca, an Ironman race. And he said to me, kill the hill, you kill the race. What I meant by that was a big mountain of a hill. Holt Hill is only like a doorstep to us. And I, thank God, gave me the strength to do that race. And then that gave me the courage to do my other big one the following year. So when I did that race, I came down the next morning, and you had people who finished that race 5 hours in front of me. I didn't care. I came down with my middle around my neck, and I was so happy. My feet was all sore. I didn't care about anything.
But you got to finish it.
When I finished my race, it meant the whole world to me at the time. Living out me kids, I went from a 5K runner to an Ironman race, and Bolton is one of the toughest Ironmen in the world. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. So there's nothing in this world you can't do if you keep going.
That's why they call him Iron Hughie now.
So I did 6 half Ironmen. I did 1 full Ironman, but I'm training at the moment. I joined, Dean here gave me a help there. I joined up Piranha Tri Club, so I'm going to be training with them till next October. I'm going to be doing my full Ironman race in Barcelona. So this is going to be my second big one to do. I can't believe I'm doing another one of these. I don't know how. I'll tell you how it happened to me. I didn't train in 3 years, proper training 3 or 4 years. And I was on my phone looking through things, and the Welsh Ironman came up, and I looked at it, and tears came in my eyes looking at it. And I said, I have to do another one of these.
And why hadn't you trained for 3 years?
Because I lost my mother 2 years ago, and before that, I had other type of family issues going on. But when I lost my mother, I lost everything. So I wasn't able to do nothing.
You lost your mind a little bit as well.
I lost everything.
I remember talking to you, and you were getting. It was hard for you.
I couldn't even talk.
Like
Martin
talk.
here did a lot of good things for me. He was there for me when I needed to talk and help. And that's what people needs.
Yeah.
Because some people can talk to certain people, and there's other people that can't talk to.
That's right.
So Martin was there for me. Like, he was the shoulder to lean on, if that's the word you use.
Because even when you were talking about your mammy earlier on, and even when you said she had passed away, I could see it in your eyes. Like,
yeah, it's very lonely. But thank God, and I know my mother helped me to get through this. So thank God I'm not as bad as I used to be, but my training now is going to help me really. That's why nothing is going to stop me. You could get even a gun and meet me halfway in the race, and there's no point you wasting your bullets, because I'm not going to stop.
You showed me a little thing outside before we came in, and it was like a short video, like an inspiration video.
I'm one of those monks.
Yeah.
And he said, never give up. And that's no surrender. And I'm going to be doing this one. I was at home a couple of days ago, and I came up with an idea of what I'm going to do. This is going to be a very, very big thing if I can just get it going. And I hope God helps me with this. I'm hoping to get, like, we have a very outbreak with drugs among travelling people. It's just a horrible, it's just a very bad way. And that's just the way the whole world is. But I came up with an idea. I want to find out who's the fittest traveller in Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England. So I came up, there's a guy called Terry Fox who ran across Canada. He got 3/4 ways across. He had cancer when he was 18. He lost his leg. This is only a short thing about it. Anyone checks him up. If this guy doesn't get you out of bed in the morning, nobody will. He's one leg. He did 26 mile every day, Martin. Every day. Every day. And you know what he said at Christmas Eve once? He said, Mother, he said, I raised millions for cancer, but I have no money to buy you anything for Christmas. Yeah, he'd make you cry looking at him. So I'm going to sponsor a trophy myself. It's going to be called Terry Fox's Trophy, a big cup or something. I'm going to get it. And I already sent the email to Tony O'Donnell in England, or video to him, and he said it's the best idea he ever saw in his life. He's a man who does a lot of things for travellers in England. I never met him in my life, but I do watch him. And he's going to connect it to Paddy Doherty. So I'm not getting involved with the race myself in a way. I'm not going to put my name forward, because I'm doing an Ironman race, and I don't know if there's any other mad travellers out there who's going to do an Ironman race. So it wouldn't be fair for me to do an Ironman race and for me to get a cup then for me, because I'm after doing the hardest race of the year. So the way this race is going to be, it's going to start in January, right up till December, till the Christmas month. Everywhere events there do, they'll have to send us, they can have to be these proper events, not I run 20 mile a day. We want to see a photo finish, and everyone who does the hardest race of that whole year, they have to raise money for cancer levy, £200 levy, £50 every to raise. So all the money is going to go towards cancer, but the trophy is going to be called Terry Fox's Trophy. I'm going to sponsor that myself. I'm going to buy that myself and put it in. I'm going to get a winner's t-shirt. And so everyone does the hardest race, And say if there's 5 guys did the same race, but one fella did it faster than the rest of them, well, he's the winner then. And there's no age group. It's from 18, female and male. From 18 as far as...
I like that one. I like that little one there.
As far as...
Because a lot of traveller women don't get a look in sometimes.
As far as 100. So the 2 of them is going to be included with this. So I'm going to really work on this. I'm going to leave in God's hands to help me to do this.
And could the winner of the whole thing be a woman?
Yes.
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 Now
So
we're talking. Now I'll help you.
Whoever who does the hardest race, the fastest time, will get the winner's trophy and the winner's T-shirt. And the following year, they have to give back the T-shirt. Or not the T-shirt, the trophy. The trophy.
We've only one T-shirt.
No, not the T-shirt.
We've 10 trophies.
I made a mistake there. The trophy. Give back the trophy. And if they can defend their title, and this is open, I said this about Big Tyson, the big boxer, he can even get, I don't care. It has to be Travellers, Martin. Travellers and Gypsies. Yeah, that's what I'm doing with this. That's what, so this is going to be like the World Cup, but among travelling people. So I'm going to do this. I want to see, can I get young lads and girls away from all stuff like that, get them out training, and they're going to imagine having the title to saying, I'm the fittest traveller in Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England. They can do any race in the world they want. You have the 6 nations, but we're going to have the 4 nations. This is what it's called. So imagine the Irish fella wearing the Irish colours. And I'll tell him, I'll get him a stun gun, I'll give him 2 shocks across the 2 cheeks, and I'll say, beat that English fella. I
thought you loved the English fellas.
Oh, I'm not going to get into that. So the English, the Donald man told me what his thing is to defeat the Scotch people. So that's what my goal for next year to do is I'm going to complete my Ironman race, please God. And also I'm going to get this competition up running. That's my goal. And there's one thing about me, always before a race, I forgot to tell you this here, I used to always get someone to light a candle. It's like Martin's mother used to light a candle for me, or she'd say a prayer for me. I could never get through any race, only for God on my side. I'd have people lighting candles for me, praying for me, and, helping me to get to the finish line. Because it's a very dangerous race, because you have to sign a form, if anything. This year alone, only 2 races I clicked into. One in Barcelona died through a bike accident. 2 more died in Cork. We lost 2 people this year in Cork. So it's a very dangerous race. Like, I'll have to get doctor's letters, I'll have to write forms, and my own problem if anything happens to me.
How's your own health with the liver?
My liver is, I often said to myself, I said, thank you, God, for what you give me, because I think God won't give you anything which you can't carry yourself. He'll only give you enough. The cross will be very heavy. Do you understand? But I thank God for because imagine if I hadn't got the problem I have, I could be maybe real fond of drink, I could be taking drugs. You don't know what state I could be in. Through my illness, because even my doctors in the hospitals and all them, it's so, they can't understand how I'm able to do these things, because this causes a lot of, can give you, you can go down in yourself, say like depression with it. You can have very stiff joints, as I do. Your muscles can be shorter and harder than other people. You can have a problem with your heart, your kidneys, your brain. It can affect your things, the nerves in your body as well. You could be just sitting there. Remember you saw me move my leg? But I'm going to
you were outside, your leg was shaking.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you why that is, because that happens with my illness. I didn't tell you at the time, but I'm telling you now.
I thought you were nervous or something.
No. That's one of my things what my thing is.
I'm at to seeing a whole different side to you. And it's one of the reasons I really wanted to get you in. Because the first time I properly met you, we
almost had a mock fight, didn't we?
We had a mock fight. Was it?
We had a mock fight. You grabbed me.
Don't say that.
I won't say that. But
he's fitter than me, and I had to kind of do the Traveller style on him. Like, Traveller has to win one way or another. So we had a bit of a Conor McGregor style.
But then I came back a few months later and put you in a headlock.
Big martial arts.
I laid him down with a
because
with a chokehold.
he mixed with the Travellers too long for a couple of months, and he learned their moves. I caught him off guard before that.
But it's kind of the same way me and Martin met. We met with fists up as well.
I remember the time when they were protesting things. I met you before, Martin. You remember you and Robert?
Yeah.
And I told you
no one to save him.
What's interesting about that, because I'm saying I'm at the seeing a whole different part of you, is that most people don't know that side of Travellers, and that's going back a long number of years. Most people see the media side of Travellers for loads of different reasons, but it's kind of like the same way people see or hear about Ballymun, it's mainly through the media, and it's less face to face. Like this morning here at 10 o'clock, we started on a feature film. 30 actors turned up from all over Dublin, and they arrived into Ballymun, and we sat them around the table, and they were all looking at each other going, this is amazing.
It was brilliant.
And look at where we are. We're in Ballymun, and these people are really, really nice. That's the sense that I get from traveller people, that they're really, really nice. They do amazing work, but it never really gets highlighted or talked about.
That's what I'm saying to you,
just
Dean.
to pull the back off people.
I came here in 1998, April 98, and I moved into St. Margaret's. I got there was a brand new site was open, and some families just moved at the time, and I got one of the yards off the corporation, and there ever since. I came from Tala. I just moved from there back to my father-in-law's place in Santry Lane there. He had his own yard there at the time. He used to do scrap cars and stuff like that there. That's what he used to do for a living. The corner of Santry Lane there, my wife was reared up nearly in Ballymun, Yeah. See, in Ballymun is a very good place to live, right? Because I'll give you a couple of samples, right? One is we have the airport right beside us. You might say that's foolish type of thing, be saying those, but it's a very handy thing. We have some of the best hospitals in Ireland, no more than 15, 20 minutes away from us, 10 minutes. We have Beaumont, we have the Mater, we have James's.
We have the two big motorways.
Yeah, we have the motorway to the north. Then we have the docks beside us. So you have loads of big shopping centres around it. You have loads of gyms around you. Your own local GPs is good around you. Well, all we have to do is get the corporation sorted out.
It's a convenient spot.
But we have a lot of good things here. And there's one thing where we live, 90% where we live, we all... See, Dean, you could have a best friend who might be my best friend, but you could be Martin's best friend, and we all help each other. There's times when you need each other, we're there for each other. There's Martin saw sides of me with no one else. I wouldn't let no one else see them, and he saw them and he'd help me out. And there's times when vice versa, if I could do something for him, I'd do it. So, if they're
You're just a bit mad, but you get over that.
Thank God, Martin, God sent the right man beside me. So if Martin's going away to any holy place...
A man of patience, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll always light candles and he'll do all things for us and mass. We do that for each other.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good way to be.
Thank God our children grown up and now they're all married with their own kids. They know they got on good together as well, and that's very important.
Thanks be to God.
So I'm just thinking back of where did the running and the charity work and the kindness come from, and it's a little bit from your daddy.
Oh, my father was the greatest sports person. There's my father now, he has CRP in his lungs and he can't walk 50 yards now. He's on oxygen 24/7, and he was the fittest traveller who I ever knew in my life. I never saw anything like him. He's a total machine, and I got my sports from him. I got a lot of things from my mother, but in sports-wise, I got it from my father, because he was all around, man. He loved the Olympics. I loved the Olympics. I have a cousin who won the Olympic silver medal. I have other cousins who was in the Olympics. The Olympics, to me, is one of the greatest things in the world to watch. I love all sport, as I said. So I got that all from him, as I got different things from my mother. So.
What did you get from Mommy?
Well, I would have gotten that type of way, or, always make sure you always have a bit of savings there, or how to manage things like that. And my mother was a very good woman for religion as well. She'd go to Lourdes and things like that. So I would have gotten him, say I took a trip to Medjugorje this year and Lourdes and Padra this year, me and my wife did. So I would have gotten that from my mother, So those type of things. Thank God I got a thing from each of them, But
you're also hard work.
Huh?
You're hard work.
Do you think so?
Yeah, you are. You are hard work. You're a hard man to be around, but you're as soft as anything, but you have this hard out shell.
Well, that's why the other day I saw...
Dean, is that drawing the boot in, or is it a compliment? Which is it?
Well, it's up to him.
Yeah. But I met a priest today from America, Martin, and he's a lovely man. And that's why he touched my hand. My hand was cold. He said, cold hand is a warm heart.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Cold hand, warm heart.
And very fair man, Dean. I would swim 100 mile if I have to do to help somebody. If someone is nice to me and someone fair to me and someone is straight, but don't give me a person who's out to do me wrong. And I don't like that. I'd like to see everybody, like I was involved with drugs for 5 years, helping young boys through drugs, talking to them, prayer groups, bringing them to Medjugorje, learn them about God by going to visit graves. What I never told you that before. I'd go to a grave and I'd do the rosary at, could be anyone's grave. Wouldn't have to be a friend of ours. Could be a stranger. And we'd go and we'd do the rosary.
Pray for the souls.
We pray, go down in the night time at 12 o'clock into a graveyard. Me and my friend Martin, Gavin and them. We used to do things like that. So prayer is a very important thing, but you can drift away from it, Dean. And then God is a very patient person in my life, because you ask him for so much and and you don't give him anything, and that's bad as well. We're all receivers, we're not givers. That's the problem. So it's important to go to your church. Is the best place you could ever go to,
Yeah, sometimes we can ask for, as you said earlier, we can ask for too much when we already have too much.
Yeah, because we're more receivers than givers.
We're not talking about money. We're talking about natural gifts from God, such as family and good health and.
Dean, as I told
peace. Someone
one day, I said, what's the point you give me 10 dinners when I can't eat them 10 dinners? I said, if I can eat a half a dinner, I'd be happy. So there's no point in me taking them 10 dinners off you just because I can receive them off you. Share them out among people. Like, I mean, and that's what's wrong with this world, Dean. Some people want too much and some people get nothing. It's not fair. And that's come from, like I remember back when we were children and growing up, like we saw, I think the kids today don't see, there's some poor kids out there who hadn't got enough to eat, but there's some children out there who never saw them type of days, like,
There is, in this country, in this community, there's food poverty. You know what I mean?
Even in Ballymun now, Dean.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Now, I'll give you a sample. The local guards used to give us our hampers one time, going, come to me, Hughie, who will we give the hampers to? And there could be 7 or 8 hampers in the van, and I'd tell them who to give them. Not like mention certain names, man. Yeah. But there was one hamper one day left over, and he said, Hughie, do you want that? So I knew we had everything in our place what we needed, Dean. Thank God for that. So I said, no. I said, do you know what you do with that, Fergal? I said, will you give that to somebody who needs it more than we need it? He said, Hughie, I'm glad you said that. Because he said, there's one family in the flats, he said, who has nothing. He said they had second-hand ties got for their kids for Christmas. They had a chicken ordered for their Christmas dinner. That's how bad it was in. And they had hardly no food. So he had 400 belonged to me for Temple Street Hospital. So I took out £50 of it and I gave it. And I put the £50 out of my own pocket back into the charity money. Because I want my money to keep there as the charity money. So then I headed off then. I told Fergal, I gave him my number and I said, ring me tomorrow. And I meet me, every time it was, I'll be telling you live, I told you what time it was. It could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or it could be 12, right? Me and Marianne set off. Marianne started crying. She was only a little girl at the time, small girl. But me and her set off down to a Thai shop down here in Santry. And we got a doll and pram, we got bits and pieces, we got guns, and we got little, because we asked them what they had to buy on the girl. And we got things for the little boy and for the little girl. Then I went into Tesco's and did some shopping in there. I got all crisp and cakes and biscuits and other food and Rice Krispies, everything. Filled up the trolley home. When I'm home, Fergal came in at the time then, and he started crying when he saw what we have done for this family. And he said he just couldn't talk, to be honest with you. There was another guard with him, and the other guard just kept looking. More than another thing, he could be one of these guards looking at travellers doing wrong all the time and didn't see this side to a traveller.
Didn't see the good, yeah.
Yeah. So get back to the story then. I met Fergal after Christmas after that. I said, how did it get out? He said it was the best Christmas they ever had. They were able to invite someone over for dinner.
Oh, Lord.
The children had
lovely, yeah.
They had a turkey for Christmas.
And they invite somebody else over as well then.
They were able to invite someone over for dinner.
Somebody else
so they shared
time.
some of their good fortunes out of it.
Yeah.
Then, and we were home, and I was just thinking Christmas Day, look at all the things what we had. And this poor family has so little, and they're still offering some of theirs what they got to another family. So he told me things was much better after that for them, because one of them got a job and things. So it's good, wonderful. Like,
brilliant, thank God.
So that's another thing I can remember. If you said to me, what's one of the best things in your life? That's one of them there. That was a great thing.
That's lovely. That's simple.
simple thing. It's like
Simple not to do it as well.
it's like the night before my London Marathon, and everything went good in my race for me. We met a guy, I told Martin this before, I met a guy outside the shop begging. We bought him a sandwich inside. We got him some crisp over there. We got him something to drink. Kathleen bought him fags. Didn't know if he smoked or not. But got him some type of cigarettes and got him other yokes. And I gave him old fiver, and we gave him them yokes in the hand. I didn't even ask us for anything. He just kept looking after us like that. He just turned his head and kept looking at us, Martin. And everything went good the next day for me. Now, I didn't do that for things to go good for me, but I saw a man, and we're in a big fancy hotel, the night before the marathon, and he was out in the cold. So, things like that there, Dean, is important.
Probably surprised you because too many people just passed them by, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a shock to them when someone stops them.
We gave them the Yorks Martin, 2 or 3 more people come over and give them things at that moment.
So there's encouragement to them.
That does happen when you reach out to somebody, because people don't know how to do it, or they're a bit unsure, or you know what I mean. But when you break that ice and you go over and you chat to somebody, or you give them a sandwich,
somebody else might want to help them.
Someone else then goes. They feel the humanity of it.
Yeah. So in my life, I had like really 10 lives in my own life. The way things, I had all types of things in my life. So we had good times and we had bad times, we had sad times, we had all type of things like. So, and with my own family, I'm blessed with my family. We, like every family, we have our ups and downs. We could even have a row when I go home with them this minute, but that's the way life is.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be able to separate you.
Yeah, that's where there's going to be. We're kind of lucky in a lot of ways as well, Dean, and thank God none of my family is sick was the most important thing.
Oh, I know I'm living beside you and I know a lot about you. Do you know all your races and all your training sessions that you're doing for the last, 14 years now, is it?
I'm doing it since 2007. I took it up in 2007.
Right. Basically, everything you done there was all for charity.
Yeah, for
So what motivated you the most? Was the charity or was it something you wanted to do yourself?
No, I tell you what was, Martin. When people did things for us when we were younger, don't forget, I used to run when I was 10, 8, I started out running when I was 6 or 7. I never lost a race in my school. And I used to run for my school. And then the year I got sick in Navan, I passed my trials. I came around 6th in the race, but you had to finish in the first 10 to get to Kerry and All Irelands. So I was lucky. I passed, I got into me All Irelands, and last the year I got sick. So running was always a part. But if we come back to the charity thing, I remember Porch Cawley doing a race for cancer for Crumlin Hospital in 2006. He's a travelling man. And he did that race. And then when I saw him doing it, there's something just came inside me. I do it.
So he motivated you.
And I remember talking to his brother. And one day I was out running, I was down there in Musgrave, and I was 15 mile done, and I had to stop because my leg kept paining me, like a nerve in my leg. I said, how am I going to get to another 11 mile when I only could get to 15? We had people who was betting money against me, Dean, when I was doing my marathon. Imagine people saying, I'd bet you money with Hughie won't be able to finish it. Yes. I know that for sure.
Crazy, isn't it?
And this fella said, I can guarantee you, Hughie didn't. I told Pack, we call him, but Patrick is his right name. I said, I struggled today. I said, my leg is sore. I said, I don't know how things are going to go for me. Now, he was looking after everything for me. So he was raising money for me. And he got a couple of £1,000 for me, Dean. He amazingly did for me. But the following week I did 20-something mile. And there's nothing going to stop me doing it then. So, and the children.
So you were 3/4 of the way there at this stage, basically.
When you go in there, Dean, and you see the children. We had children who died in the hospital. So nieces and cousins and all, and I was never going to stop.
Martin Sarson, what's the motivation? What's the thing that encouraged you? When you were sick in London,
people did that for me.
People came out and they done that for you.
Yeah.
Like, showed you love and humanity. And
my father and mother for them as well.
And probably these people didn't even know you.
Some of them knew me, some of them didn't know me. And believe it or not, Dean, when I did the New York Marathon, there was about £4,000 or £5,000 left over from my charity from years ago. What they wanted to know, what will we do with the money? So I give half that money to Crumlin. I think it was 5,500. So I give half to Temple Street and half to Crumlin as well. What the priest had there in his account, man, the priest was dead and all, the money was still there. So I met the people from Crumlin, and believe it or not, none of the Temple Street people turned up the same night, but I still said the check goes to them and the other check goes to Crumlin Hospital.
Yeah.
So I did that also as well, over 5,000, because the money was in my name, Martin.
All right.
Hughie Maughan's fundraising, it was in my name. It was.
So you were the treasurer at that stage.
And believe it or not, back in the day, Dean, there's a guy called Ben. I don't know, do you ever remember him? He got a liver transplant in England. He was Irish. Ben was his name, and he died with his second liver. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Well, I was in the same hospital as him. But I'll tell you another thing, Dean, how much I was. In 2015, I was 10 years trying to get Sportsman of the Year among all travelling people. And that's not taking glory, but I kept going because I wouldn't give up, and I got it. I won the Sportsman of the Year among all travellers in North and South of Ireland. It was the ITM, Irish Travel Movement, was run that. So it was in the back of James, not James, it's, what do you call that? All my own family was born. The one in town there, the hospital, was at the back of that anyway, right? It's a big thing to have every year. It's called Traveller's Pride Award. They returned the hospital at the back of that. It was like a big hall. There was a woman from Cork who was one of the head people over there. She said, I'm not supposed to tell you this, Hughie, but you're the first person ever who the 10 people judges picked you. It was never done before. Like, I was in front page of a book sold in Easton's bookshop and all. So I was in the front page of that. Like, Dana, I wouldn't be able to do any of them things only for everybody who helped me, do you understand? Like the guy who works in the hall, Damien, he kept putting my name forward, and he kept saying to me, Hughie, it's not fair what they're doing to you. We won't put your name forward no more because it's not fair. She told me, the woman from Cork, said, Hughie, you should have happened this years ago, but we know you weren't going away. So every year, kept going. So that was one thing, Dean.
Oh, wow.
Then 30 years after, I went back to tell my doctor in the hospital in England, thanks for what she did for me. So I met Georgina. After 30 years, I went back to King's College Hospital through all emails.
Yes.
Because Georgina got me aunt or my cousin Winnie to text her. I found her name. I knew she was the highest doctor at the time, second highest doctor. Because I only found out when I went over there, well, my highest doctor in England that time for the liver died, Martin, in 1986 with a heart attack. But Georgina was from Italy. She never had no children. I never knew that till I went to see her. But I always wanted to go back, and I texted her, do you remember me? And she said, how could I ever forget you, Hughie? But I remember the day when she let me go out of the hospital in England, she said to me, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is you cannot stay here. You have to go home. And the good news is we don't have to see you for a long time again, right? But she started laughing. There was a big team of them, right? So she did everything for me. What more can a person do? And she gave it through God and things. She gave me my life back. Because I even asked her in front of my wife, how sick was I? She said, you're just almost, next thing was a liver transplant. 2015, 30 years since that time, since I saw her. And I had to go back and I gave her a hug and all, and she started crying. And I gave her a hug, and she called me one of her children, Martin.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she called her husband, this is one of my kids from that time. And she told me the hardest thing for her when Dr. Mort or everyone died, she had to take over and she wasn't able to spend time with the children and the wards. And 30 years after, Dean saw my doctor and told her, thanks for what you did for me. Because I never forgot her. And she asked me about my father and mother at the time. My mother was alive at the time. And I told her I did my Ironman race. She just couldn't believe it. The things I could do. That's the type of person I am, Dean. I want to go back and tell her. And I had to get a flight over to her, stay in a hotel, rent a car, stay at my uncle's the second night. Do you know, put time and money into this, Martin. Yeah.
Just to say thanks to her.
She's waiting at the door for me, and here's I upstairs up in the ward, and then they rung her to come up, and because she was retired 3 years, but she still helped in the hospital, Martin.
Oh, right. Probably advising them and stuff.
She started in 1970 something, and there's so many children dying in England with liver diseases, and they started a group together. There was a Chinese fella, the other doctor, her, and a red hair fella, and all in Martin was all came the highest you can get. Can't get any higher than them. So that was another story in my life, Dean. So I did some crazy stuff.
This has turned into the
I
Gay
did
Byrne
Santa
show
Claus
now.
races, dressing up as Santa, running the beach.
Isn't it?
What?
It's turned into the Gay Byrne show now. This is your life.
Tell us about the Santa Claus.
I did that's at Santa. I'm going to do it now. It's in the second week of December.
Why are you doing
again.
Santa Claus?
Yeah, I did it already loads of times, but I'm going to
Did
do
you?
it again. You dress up as Santa and you run at the beach. It's a 5 and 10k run. Even if I only can walk and run it till I get my fitness up, I'm going to have a bit of
Will
a
you
crack.
bring that man over there with you?
Well, you can come with me if you want. Dean, I was telling Martin about the 5K run every Saturday morning.
Poppentry Park run every Saturday morning
Yes.
at 9:30.
That's going Martin's goal now.
Yeah, you can walk it, you can jog it, you can run it, whatever you want. It's just getting up and getting off the couch or out of bed is the hard work.
Dean, well, as I said to you already, I was dead and buried and I saw this Ironman Wales and I started off doing 5K runs and something lit in my head. Something came in my head and I was crying looking at the yoke on the phone and I can't believe I'm back. Like I trained for over 2.5 hours this morning, but if I can only train for 10 minutes, Dean, I'm happy with that. It's what you're able to do and then keep building it up and have a goal.
Yeah.
Like Martin's goal should be a 10K run. Build yourself up to that and that's brilliant.
Martin's goal should be whatever Martin can do the minimal amount and then build it up.
That's what I'm saying. His goal is the 5K run and walk and build it up then.
Yeah.
And keep going up. And it's great, isn't it, Martin? Like,
yeah,
I think if someone said to me before, do you know your health, if you train, it takes all your worries and it's like going to Mass. You go to Mass, you're spending time with God and all the saints and you're spending time with them. All your worries is all away from you at the moment. You're praying for people who are sick and all them. But at that moment, you're in that zone thing. But the same thing with training. If you train and all those problems leaves you.
It's like your focus is stuck away from all of that.
Yeah. As a priest said in Medjugorje today, and it made a lot of sense, very simple thing. He said, just even drop into the church and say hello. You don't have to get involved with the Mass. You just sit down in the corner. Listen what the priest is talking about. Look around you. You don't have to get up. You don't have to stand up when he tells you to stand up. You don't have to sit down when he tells you to sit down. Just be there.
Just be.
Yeah. And that's the same with your health. Just get off the sofa, walk around the park for 10 minutes.
You feel so good.
I done it. I was very sad there about 2 weeks ago and I just went walking up the hill on my own. I just walking up the hill on my own for about 4 hours and I just sat with it and then when I came back down, I was in a different place and I helped.
Yeah, see, that's what happens to you. The hardest thing is we're going to be sad again and we're going to be upset again and things, but that moment, at least, it's gone from your brain. There'll be, like I often went into swimming with water going to half the height of a house. Do you know, like big waves coming in top of you. Do you know, and then how could I run that far?
You've got someone to go swim with you now, Dean.
Yeah, come down. I'm in as often as I can. And
I'm always looking for someone to go swim with you.
I'm in with my man Dan now as often as I
can.
can.
A break, like, you know what I mean?
You're a grand man with the old excuses, Martin.
There's a big gale force. Martin does 3 long races next year in the sea. The first one is in May, and you can do a 5 something K swim, or you can do a 3.8. Or you can do a 2 something. So he's going to be doing one of them with me. I'm going to do the 3.8K. I'm not going to go for the 5 because I won't be ready for it. But I'm going to, and then there's 2 more events during the year then. So me and Dean might be jumping in there with me.
Yeah,
you get a t-shirt in the middle and all. Long distance swimming.
3.5.
We'd have to give the medal back and keep the t-shirt.
So like a lot of things, Dean, and as I said, that's another part of my life, through my sickness and through my sports things, and I get back to people. Then say, as everyone knows, what my son was on Big Brother and things like that there too. That at the time, that was that was tough times at the time when them things happened as well. So you know,
tough for you or him? Yeah,
it would have been tough for everybody as well. So I had a lot of things in my life that went on in my life, Dean.
What was that like? Tell us about that.
Well, at the time, it would have been a very big. It was a hard time at the time.
What was hard about it?
Well, hard because when your son is on Big Brother and you know. You never knew or never thought, you know, the way things was. Like I don't like using the word like gay and things like that, Dean, but it's hard for me and my wife.
Is it hard for you to say that word?
It is, yeah. But it's hard for me and my wife at the time, but tough times as well. But that's what Martin and people like that came in again.
Hard to accept what he's saying, like, is it?
Yes, you know, things like that, because as you're growing up and you're seeing your family growing up, you want to see them getting married or having their kids and all these things.
Yeah.
Not saying gay people can't have kids either, because they can.
Or get married.
Yes, yeah, all those things. But the thing is, this is coming from a Catholic background and old-fashioned things, and old-fashioned in one way and not old-fashioned in another way. But in a case like that, it was tough times. But we got through it and it was hard. Like, so really, Ironman race, it was nothing to us, something like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Because there was a point, because you told me about this before, and I talked to Hughie about it as well. There was a point where it was just so hard, and you didn't want it this to be the thing? You were like, no.
No, I couldn't accept it.
I can't hear it. I can't accept it.
No, because I was in the gym that morning. I mean, Hughie had our own like little problems a couple months before that, so we wasn't really 100% together, you know, like talking wise. And like I'm not a person to hold back something, so I'm just being honest about it. So I was in the gym that morning. I did a 10k run because I was training for a half Ironman in Galway, and my training was going so well. So I rushed home out of the gym. Kathleen was going out the gate on a Wednesday. She was driving my car, going out the gate, bringing Hughie to the airport. So I got back and I said, hold on. I said, I'll go with you. So I dropped the other motor up and got into the car, out to the airport, dropped Hughie off. That was on a Wednesday, early in the morning, around 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then I got as he was walking through, I just put up my hand like that there. He walked through. Then my sister-in-law rung me then.
And what?
And told me.
Told you what?
Well, Hughie was going on Big Brother.
He almost had a show one, Hughie, hadn't he? He almost had a show one, hadn't he?
Sure, he had it one. Everyone knows he did win it.
But you had no clue what he was doing.
No, I knew he was going on Big Brother, but I didn't know what he's going to come out with this type of talk. Like, they didn't tell me yet like this.
Yeah.
Hughie, maybe Dean, you might be comfortable talking about this.
No, I know right talking about that. Yeah, because I, like, even... say Lucy came to live with us there once as well, and New York, and that was a good crack.
She was on the Big Brother show, wasn't she?
Yeah, no, she.
Oh, the other one that from here, yeah.
Lucy, what's it called?
Living with Lucy.
Living with Lucy.
She was living in our place.
Is that still on Hughie, is it?
Yeah, she's doing all celebrity people at the moment.
She's
now.
a new one, is she?
Loads of people, yeah. So she's a lovely woman, Dean.
So she asked you all these questions.
She asked me them things on public television, live on television, and I told her like. So it's very hard times, and it still can be hard today.
Yeah. But
the thing is, Hughie's our son, and like I mean, he never did nothing wrong to nobody in his life. He argued, and like everyone does have out with some ways. Like Hughie would have been another person who was a good boxer and everything. Like people forget these things.
Maybe
like,
he might win fittest traveller.
He was big into sports.
If he wants to get into it, I'd love to see him get into it.
I think he'd be well able for it.
Yeah, well, Hughie there was a good boxer. He won Dublin championships, Dublin leagues. He won 9 counties. He got bet in Irish couple of semi-finals as well. So, and he bet All Ireland champions. He got fired for Dublin county as well. So he did. He was believe it or not, Hughie won a race in Ballymun here before, and he won a new race or a new mountain bike at the time. It was a swim, cycle, run marathon. It was one of them was done here.
Triathlon, yeah.
Yeah, he won it from the school. Yeah, he won it. He came first. He won the swim, the cycling. He won a brand new mountain bike.
He was sports when he was young, like, wasn't he?
Yeah, he won the Robert gave him the bike as well. He was giving out the bikes. Hughie won the bike. He came first in his age group. So that was another part of Hughie. But the thing with Hughie was, it was a very tough time, Dean. You had people who was horrible people calling names on Facebook, and you had like the everyday type of stuff. But they're forgetting about the emails we were getting, the texts we were getting from people in different parts of the world. I'll just give you 2 examples, right? One was from a girl from London. She texted me through Facebook. She said, I don't know if this is your son on Big Brother, but I think it is, she said. I lost my sister 2 weeks ago, she said. But she said, I wouldn't be alive today only for your son was on Big Brother. So, probably, yeah. Then we received another one.
Why was that?
I reckon her sister was suicide or something like that.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's what the case was. The way she was saying it, that's what it was then. Yeah. So then a woman from Canada, and same thing, Martin, like praying for how she just loves Hughie.
Yeah.
Then we had another woman who went to Lourdes, told her family to record everything with Hughie, don't miss none. And she had a big candle.
She got back.
She had a candle lit in Lourdes. Dean, and then there's another woman who was dying in Northside down there with cancer. She had 3 kids. Her youngest child didn't start school, so her wish before she died was to see Hughie and her child to start school. That's all she wanted.
Oh,
but that's not the end of the story. Well, let me finish this here, right? We went down. There was fundraising done the same day, Martin. There's a big curtain in the middle of the place. She was up that side. Hughie was down here, and you think she was after seeing, I don't know what she said, the king of the world or whatever it is. Yes. She came running, and this woman was struggling. She was very sick. To see Hughie in their soft t-shirts, they're crying and all. But this is the hardest thing, Martin. She did see her child starting school, but the little she's going to know. But when she was in a coma, dying, Her husband died the same time.
Oh.
But he got a sudden cancer, what killed him dead. And the person she needed to mind the 3 children
Oh, Lord.
died before she died, and the 3 kids was left behind.
Blessings and
Now,
souls.
Dean, do you
And where
understand?
was you from, Hughie?
Down north side down there. And believe it or not, Martin, I was in for a piping in Beaumont Hospital, coming down the lift,
Yeah.
could be a week or 2 before, but the minute I saw her, I said, I know her face. Because she had one of those things on her head. What do you call them, Dean? You know the thing for people who lose their
turban,
hair?
is it?
Yes. She'd one
Like
of
a
them.
scar for people with cancer.
And I looked at her, Martin.
Oh, God bless her.
And I took notice of her coming down. She was in the one lift while I was coming down in Beaumont. But because I knew her face when I saw her, I said, I saw her
Poor
before.
thing, so.
She got very sick after that fundraising day. After that again, it's like she was howling on.
Was she the main person of the day, kind
That's
of?
what
like?
everyone was raising the money for. They did a 5K walk for her to raise a load of money. And this is a funny part. There was girls who was with her helping to do the fundraising. Her mother just loved Chewie, but she was bedbounded.
Yes.
Right? She was like the old man in the Quiet Man movie. When he heard about the fight, he jumped up. So the other one said, or our sister, or whatever her name was, I don't know what her name was. Her name was Louise, or whatever it is. She has a new boyfriend. I don't want to see him.
Sure to see Hughie.
No, that woman said in the bed.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Or then they bring in Hughie in through the door.
She wanted to see him.
Yeah, because she didn't know. The girl started bringing in my boyfriend
sorry,
to see
she
her.
didn't know Hughie was there. Yeah,
And here was she trying to get up out of bed, I heard. She did her best to get out of bed.
When'd you see them?
Yeah.
Oh, good on. And she couldn't move first.
She could not be, and she didn't want to see no boyfriend
Oh,
either.
right.
But I'm bringing him in to see her. They got Hughie that day, and bring a man in the car because they said her mother just loves you.
So he cheered them up very well.
So
then, fair play.
yeah, that's what I mean. All the horrible people out there, then we met the true people, the good people. And they're very important.
Yeah,
you know?
that's-
And what do you think it is about your son?
Well, he has a good way of getting on with people. Like Hughie did, even for or Christy Barker, we got that fella in the town. He used to be working with Sinn Féin, and now he's the Lord Mayor of Dublin there once as well. He's by himself now doing the Yorks. But Hughie did a fundraising or thing for him before too, for homeless people. He slept out the whole night. Him and his partner at the time.
to raise funds for
They
homeless.
stood up the whole night, Martin, sleeping out in the streets. And then he often helped them with the soup runs as well.
I was like, he put himself into their shoes kind of thing.
He slept with the homeless people with buckets, go around with buckets the whole night through.
So you wouldn't get millionaires to do that, Hughie, would you?
No, that's what I mean, the whole night to that. Now he's a traveller again for you.
Yeah.
He did that the whole night through with the homeless people and things. Yeah, the whole night through in O'Connell Street. And he said to help with buckets in the shopping centres and all.
And what do you think these people who are sending you emails and texts, what were they getting?
Well, Dean, at the time, I'd be straight truthful about it. I used to argue back with them online, right, because it was hurting me. Then I start thinking, I said, Kathleen, if we have to argue with these people, I said, we're going to be arguing all our lives. I
The rest
said.
of your lives, yeah.
So I said, what I did was then, like, I'll try to get this story as fast as I can to you, right? I had a cousin in Navan who lost a brother through murder. He got murdered. But John Paul is more like a brother to me and Tommy than a cousin, if that makes sense. And his wife fought me behind his back and asked me, can you come down to see John Paul, Hughie? You know, I was in a bad place myself at the time. I said, what's wrong with John Paul? He's tablets and he's all these other yokes. And, you know, he's in a hard place because his brother was died.
Yeah.
So I went down and let Nana come from Cavan. Me and a little girl was up with me. My wife's niece, she was a little young girl at the time, Megan. She's married now, the same girl. But got John Paul. And I said, John Paul, do you want I was coming down from Brian from me back, I said. I had him a white lie, if that's what you call it. So we went out to the graveyard. But my brother was already rung as well by me. And he let Nana, he was getting a van fixed in Navan. So we went out to the graveyard. And then you had Darren Sunderland, who was the famous boxer who died. Then you had my cousin who got murdered was there. And then you had another woman who got, you know, there was anyone I looked at, there was horrible things came to the end of their lives. Very young people. And I looked at them, and John Paul and Tommy was talking, and I walked away and I said, we're so lucky, I said. So we have Hughie, he's a big, fresh, strong young man, I said. I'm no longer going to be against him, I'm going to be for him. So I went away and got T-shirts made. I got Hughie, the next Prime Minister of Ireland, or President of Ireland. Do you remember I had a big picture of the back window of the car, man? And I used to have into the gym with it. these people never start making phone calls no more then. Or texting and things like that. Because what's the point calling someone names who's going around looking for Hughie to be the next Prime Minister? Yeah. So we wore T-shirts. Then I got talking to a journal. I turned down the Sunday World and all them, and then the Sun paper came to my house, and you had to be very cautious with the media people. So I got talking to Ken, and before anything with them paper, we understood each other. So I worked with him the whole time through it then. And he ended up doing a lot of good things for Hughie as well. So, I felt much better then. So then we make Hughie then when he came home and out the airport, and we're out there waiting for him with our T-shirts, and people was coming over for autographs, and it was a torture at the very start for the first couple of months because we couldn't go into a pub, but we couldn't even eat a bit of food right because they were coming over top of us and photographs of Hughie. So I felt like a bit of a macho man myself a couple of times, I was like there and I was watching everything.
Basically, you went down to help John Paul. Is that right?
And I helped myself.
When you seen the graves, you got the help in yourself.
Yes. When I saw these
that you didn't realise you needed, basically.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say to you. I went down to help John Paul, but I ended up getting help myself in it.
Yes.
Because I looked at all these young people. And now there's a big difference between a dead person and a live person. How could you choose? Well, I realised what we had.
You're alive.
And look at these poor people, what their father and mothers lost these people through very bad things. Like Darren Sullivan took his own, everyone knows that, but he was a great boxer, he was a lovely young lad. I knew Darren through the boxing. And the thing, look how sad his life was. When everyone looked at him, he was like a brightest star in the sky, but he wasn't. No. He was the lonely star in the sky.
Yeah, behind it all, yeah.
He was pitch dark. He wasn't bright at all. Again, he was crying out for help and they never helped him. Maybe
no one could see it.
Yeah.
So what do you do there? What do you do in that space? Because I know you were sad for the last, year or so.
2 years.
2 years.
Nearly 2 years.
What do you do?
Well, as I said, Martin gave me a lot of help. I had a fellow called Thomas, another good friend of mine. I could make a phone call to him. Martin was there and his family was there. And, and my own...
Look, I don't think it'd make a difference. If you're the strongest man in this world, everybody needs someone to talk to now and again.
Yeah, you need...
Take Tyson Fury there, for instance.
Yeah, look what he went through.
The biggest, less than not the most powerful man in the world. But, he's in a high space there. And yet...
Everything. He had everything,
but he was brought to his knees many a time.
Kind of money-wise, Tyson had everything, millions and millions and millions.
Lovely family.
But he hadn't got that other thing. He hadn't got the thing what you need. It's like when I start coming out of things, when training was my life, I just love training. It's nothing for me to train for 3-4 hours when I do it 5-6 hours. Who wants to jump on a bike and do 150 kilometres in a training session? There's not everybody wants to do that.
No.
But there's other things you can do. You can go to church, you can go for a walk in the park, you can go to the local gym and do a small bit of training. Anything like that is like food. You need food to stay alive. Well, you need things like that to keep alive as well.
Yeah, the talking.
In from your head.
Anything that creates a therapy.
A man is not half as strong as a woman. Or he might be able to lift a weight much heavier than a woman can lift. Right? But a woman is still much stronger than men.
Strong-minded, yeah.
In other ways.
What did you say there? Anything that makes it therapy?
Yes, if you're going for a walk, as he said there. He mentioned there, doing an exercise.
Yeah.
Going to church. Whatever can put your mind into a good state is a therapy, isn't it?
And you need to talk to someone, Dean. Depression is one of the worst things a person can ever go through. It's the loneliest, saddest thing of your life. You can't get no worse than it. It's a horrible thing. My own wife suffers with that for years, so I know all about it.
I've been there myself.
It's the worst thing you could ever go through. You can't get no worse. And, so I think a lot of things in my life I was hard, but I was able to get through them. But that's through my father and mother as well, and through my own family.
See, the healing, I'm not saying the healing for that. The healing probably comes from talking to somebody else, talking to other people about these things. Because you never know what another person could come out with.
And you don't know what other people is going through,
They could change your way of thinking.
Dean, look at that man who I met when I failed my race in 2013. English man who was in second in his age group. and he was in a time trial yoke, put into the yoke mountain because he did something wrong. You have to, in Ironman races, you can't go too close to another person on a bike. You can't be seen throwing papers, which you shouldn't do anyway. And you can get these penalty points. And only for he was in that little penalty point place where I was at the time, waiting to get a lift back to the hotel. And I told him I pulled out a race because he asked me what happened. And he said, young lad, he said, you can always replace a race, but you can't replace your life, he said. He said, what would if you be going down the hill and you get dizzy spells or get sick? He said, I'm 22 years doing this events, he said. And he said, I know all about it. So he told me about Mallorca, and like a man who, and he came second that day in his age group because I met him the next day. But I wasn't, I was only talking for about a minute the next day. But at that moment, Martin, he told me, and I didn't give up hope then. It's so small of a world. What about me cycling not far from my finish line after doing 180 kilometres, and this guy came up beside me on the bike, and he looked at me, he said, I remember you here 2 years ago, he said. And he said, you never finished a race, he said. You not remember talking to me after the race? And he said to me, but you're going to finish today, he said. And then I met an English woman. She's a woman about 6'1" height. I said she was a soldier. She had all Union Jack colours on her. I think her name was Helen, if I'm not mistaken. And she asked me, what's your plan for the race, for the run? I said, walk the hills and run the flat. She's I'm your partner. I didn't even look at my watch no more. She looked at the watch the whole time. Me and her did the run together. And she finished about a minute before me because I went down in front of her for about 5 minutes because my legs were stiffening up. And then she came up beside me. She finished about 100 yards, 200 yards in front of me, Martin. But only that woman that day, we helped each other.
But it's a good strategy even for life. When stuff is tough, take your time, take it easy. And then when everything is all right, move a little bit faster. So what was it? Walk the hills?
Walk the hills and run the flat.
And run the flat. It's beautiful.
So you're getting yourself back because it's a dangerous race. They know, it's a plan. If we'd have tried to run the hill, we probably would have been burdened out. So by walking the hills and run the flat.
So you have another 12 months of this training ahead of you now.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of experience. I didn't train along. My last race was 2018 in Athy, so I have a very big race coming up in June in Athy. It's called the Double Olympic Distance. So what that means is a 3K swimming that's in the water. There's about 1,200 metres against the current, so it's going to be hard because I did it before. But it's the biggest race that day. You have all these pipers in front of you and all. Yeah, it's a big race, and there's an 80k cycle straight away after the 3k swim and a 20k run. So it's like a half Ironman. In Ballymun at the moment, I just have to say this. We have amazing people in Ballymun. Loads of the boys did the Dublin Marathon, say 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Some of them is going to Chicago where they got their places in over the good times. What they're doing in Ballymun, even with the bike club and all that, is amazing. You know, we have one of the best people in the world, not just in Ireland, Jared. He did 10 Ironman in 10 days. Now, I hope to get some tips off him this year as well.
Jared is launching his book.
He signed me up for Barcelona Marathon or Ironman race today. The things what that man does is just out of this world. Like, who wants to run around a school for 165 kilometres the whole night through? He did it. Him and
Coco.
Yeah, he did it as well. They finished the race too early and I had to do another 5k run. But when
they went too fast.
When I look at Jared, I look at him. If I can only get 5% from him, it'll do me. So I have the same respect for a man who can run 5k or a woman who can run 5k if I never done 100k, because I look at him and he gives me hope, because this man never did it before or a woman never did it and they're going to do it. So that gives me hope.
I like that message, hope. By the way, I'm going to invite you down to Jared's book launch on Friday the 24th in the Access, and I might actually ask you up on stage because I'm going to be hosting it.
Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be an honour to do that.
The hope thing is interesting because I think that's what Tyson Fury gives people. I think that's what your son Hughie gave those people, is hope, is a way out of the pain, is a plan, is a way of thinking, is a way of accepting your pain but looking for the therapy.
Yeah, and like we were in McDonald's one night and I was like a bodyguard to Hughie, and this two girls spotted Hughie. we're after having a home party for him, and I'm to say there's out the whole roof. One girl come over, you don't know how she plagued us. You don't know how much I love your son. I just love your son. I just love your son. We just love. That's all she kept saying, man. I said, will you please? Your father and mother is waiting for you to go home.
She was crazy about him.
Can I go home with you? I said, you can't come home with us.
Here, have a question. Do you love your son?
Every father and mother loves their sons and daughters.
I'm not asking every father and mother. I'm asking you. Do you love your son?
They're always the hard words to say.
I know.
See, why do you do that?
So say it then.
Of course you love your family.
No. I'm asking you. Say the words.
Yeah, of course you would love. Like you do love.
Do you love your son, Hughie?
I love my daughter. I love my son. I love my other daughter, and I love my grandchildren. They're my life. A car needs diesel or petrol to keep going every day. Well, I need my family around. I know they do torture me.
Hey, I'd say you torture them morning, noon, and night.
But you know, like, so the things in Ballymun here at the moment. There's a lot of great things in Ballymun.
70 people ran a 5-kilometre run this morning for charity for cancer.
Do you understand, Martin?
There's a running club here with 250 members. There's a cycling club. We set up a hiking club. We set up the Cubs and the Scouts. There are 101 ways, 101 plans, 101 routes for people to get involved in this community. And what I've set the challenge is, I've named Ballymun as Ireland's healthiest community, and I think we can do it.
But Dean, what we need is like I'm hoping to do this thing among travellers, right? I'd love to see some of the traveller boys that's getting involved, and the girls getting involved with these things that you're doing, because it's a great thing. Because I have a little granddaughter, she's 3 years old, and I tell you now, and I'm predicting this here now, if she's put into a running club, she'd go. I met Sonia O'Sullivan and Eamon Cochran and all them. I met them, but I tell you, it's going to take one of the Kenya runners to beat her, because that's how good she's going to be. And she's only 3 years old.
Well, we have some of the Kenyans in the Ballymun club.
You're going to need one of them to beat her in time to come, because that's how much I can tell by looking at her. I can just know how good she's going to be. And I'm just choosing her. She's just built for speed. I just know she is. So I'd love for some of the young boys and girls to get involved with that. They know through sport, Dean, you don't realise the fringe of meat. I told someone before in England, in Paris, when I did the marathon, I said, we so lucky, and the English woman said to me, why? I said, I'll tell you why. I said, through a pair of runners and a pair of shorts, we can do all these events. Just train and do them. We meet each other. I said, we will never see each other again, I said. But I said, we did event the day, I said, we met at the finish line. Because what happened was, the finish line was too narrow, and because there was too much people in it, and there was 7 minutes before we could cross the finish line, Martin. And you can meet people from America, Martin. Know the people I met all over the world. I was so lucky with a pair of runners and a pair of shorts. Days the boys is going to be going out to Chicago 6 weeks before the Dublin Marathon. From Ballymun, fellas, when he took up running, like Mick told me one day, he met me, and he said, Hughie, I used to look at you running around Ballymun, Mick Nan, and he said to me, and I used to say to himself, I'd love to be like him. Now he ran in Barcelona and other countries now.
He's doing it now.
Yeah. Now he has injuries, so he only can run halves, but it's still a great thing to do. But that's what imagine he looked at me.
That's
Who was
his brother, is it?
A big fat lump of lard coming down through Ballymun, and as a Cork man said to me before, you're like a diesel engine. You're hard to start in the morning, but there's no surrender.
Don't give up.
You know, Dean, I often got up, but people didn't realise this here. I often got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd have something to eat before 5. I'd be out my door in my bike for 7-8 hours, and I often come home and do maybe a 45-minute run or a 60-minute run after that.
That's the same as me. I cycled from Ballymun to Enfield on the canals and back, and then when I got back to my house 20 minutes later, I was looking for something else to do.
Yeah. I think it's just like Jared met a coloured guy from America, Martin. He was a Navy SEAL. If you said to me, who would you love to meet in the world? In one person, it'd be him.
Goggins.
And Jared met him.
Yeah.
I looked him up. He said one time ago in YouTube, I can never find a finish line of any race, because even when he finishes the Ironman race, it's not enough for him. Like Martin, he ran for, I think it was for 2 days around a 500-metre track one time ago. He's a total machine. So Jared met him. That's the calibre Jared did in. He got emails from world's champions wishing him luck. He's an amazing man. So we're so lucky to have a man like him in Ballymun.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have you as well.
Dean, I'm 5%, but my Ironman race, when I do that in October, that Ironman race is going to mean the whole world to me. Yeah. And I know I'm going to get there. And Terry Fox is going to get me to the finish line. That's what my heart believed. That guy who died of cancer when he was 22, Terry, I'm going to have me planned. I can see myself going across the finish line already. I have my Irish flag where I always use in other countries. But one thing, I'm going to have a T-shirt with Terry Fox on it. Because I'm going to have it going across that finish line and he's going to get me there.
Very good. Fair play to you.
Out of doubt.
Hughie Maughan Snr, Ireland's healthiest traveller.
Not far from that now, Dean. But the thing is, he's going to get me across that finish line.
Episode 49, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
I'm sorry I had to wreck all your heads today, but...
No, you were great, brother. You were amazing. You were a diesel engine and it is hard to shut you up.
I'm living next door to him.
And this countryman here, Dean, he'd want to stop or he's going to get himself mangled, as the traveller says.
He's not safe till he's outside.
So if you want to meet Hughie Senior and Hughie Junior in person, come along to our gig in Access on Friday the 24th of November, our live podcast.
Oh, that should be good.
Hughie Senior is going to be in the audience as well.
So get your tickets out there, boys. Get you all there and see what's going on.
£10 a ticket. Get them from Access or get them from Martin Stokes.
Yes. Also known as Elvis. Did you know they used to call him Elvis?
Flakes is Martin Stokes.
Did you ever know that? Did you ever know they used to call him? He used to be called Elvis one time.
I'm trying to get him to sing a couple of Elvis songs at this.
Please. Do you know one morning, Dean? It was a really cold morning. I didn't give you a little quick story about him. Right, I got up one morning. He never used to stop singing Hank Williams. So I got up one morning and I was feeling a bit country. I saw his son Tommy. I said, "Where's Hank Williams this morning?" I said, "I don't hear him singing." I'm just said, this weather, the snowman even moved out indoors. It
was bad now.
Couldn't be any cold. But where is Hank Williams gone? He's gone down the country. That's why he went singing. I didn't know this. He thought
he was in bed.
I said, I don't see him. Where's Hank Williams this morning? I don't see him singing. I hear him singing. But I didn't know. I thought he was in bed.
I was about 70 miles away singing Hank Williams.
But he's down the country, probably singing it in the car.
Hank Williams full blast.
It was just so funny at the time.
I've been going.
He told you had that one up me.
I thought I had him there, Dean. I thought I had him. I thought he was in bed. Oh, look with the cold, probably like myself.
The frost would let me out.
It was that cold. It was warm outside nearly. But he wasn't. I didn't hear him singing that morning.
So what I done, I sent him back a selfie, didn't I, in the frost?
I said, "Where's Hank Williams?" I said, "I don't hear Hank Williams this morning." But Hank Williams was already gone 2 hours before that.
Episode 49, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
Nice one, yeah. Fair play to you, kid.
Well done, brother.
A Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Live, the 24th November.
Access Theatre, Ballymun. This is our only live show this year. And we're going to fill the room in the Access with settled people, travelling people from all over the place.
So you're feeling good about it, Jess?
I'm very excited. We've got amazing guests.
If they come to our live show, to get to hear Eileen Flynn talking, is that right?
To get me, to get you, to get a special guest, to get Hughie Maughan, Sharon Ward, €10 on the 24th of November.
So it should be a great night out in the Access 24th. Plenty of banter and plenty of chat and a bit of crack. I want to invite all the travellers onto this show to hear all the crack come from different angles, as a fellow would say.
It's a night of chat, song, the crack, couple of weeks before Christmas.
And best of all, in from the cold. For €10 you get a seat, you get light and you get heating. You get to listen to me and you talk. Here, there's no losers. It's all winners.
Tickets are selling fast.
Flying out.
Go to the Access Theatre, get your ticket, travel on a country.
Can you buy a ticket at the door also? Yes.
They'll all be gone by then. So.
But if people want to get them at the door, can they get them if there's no...
Tickets will be gone. Anyone looking for tickets, get on to Martin Stokes.
You're spoiling it all, I'm telling you. You're just spoiling it completely. If you don't want to see the country, I'm telling you want to see the traveller. And again, if I'm not there, just start without me. How about that? I think it's going to be a good evening out. See you there.
So that's us for this episode, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.